Hello Yerba Underground members. I'd like to show you today how to clean and dry a gourd and also a bombilla. This is one that I mentioned was knocked over earlier today by a cat. Had some rosamante in it, which I've now cleaned out just by dumping it into the garbage can, but it still has residue in there. I'm going to begin by turning on a nice stream of water. I'm going to get the hose out, invert the gourd, and put this little nozzle inside the gourd like that, changing the direction of the water flow so that you get all the little bits knocked out like that. And you can stop there, or if you want, you see the dark area around the rim of the gourd. You can also take it and spray a little bit. Whoops. There we go. So that you get some of the darkness around the fleshy part of the rim. Once that's done, you can turn this off, and this is the part that a lot of people miss, the drying part. Okay, it's easy enough to dry the outside. You just take a towel, either a paper towel or cloth like this one, wipe the outside a little, but the inside is where mold grows for a lot of people. Here's my technique. Take one end of a towel like this, kitchen towel, put it inside your gourd after you twirl it a little to get a shape that's sort of like an inverted funnel, and you stuff it in fairly snug but not tight. Then you rotate it. You can even press with your thumb a little bit onto the cloth, making it dry the edges of the gourd, and then just turn it around a little. Okay. I usually keep a kitchen towel set aside for this purpose. It'll get a little bit of dark spots on it, but nothing that can't be cleaned. After that, you have your gourd nice and dry. You could just set it aside to dry naturally, or you can take the extra step, which is a pro step, and use a heat gun. Now, you want to be careful with this, and by the way, you can use a hair dryer if you don't happen to have a heat gun. But you can just use your dryer or your heat gun to go around the fleshy parts of the gourd, making sure to change the direction to get the inner walls. And don't hold it in one spot too long. Keep it moving. That's the key to not causing any damage to your gourd. And you'll notice that the dark areas of the gourd are lightening up already. Now, you don't want to do this too long. Just enough to kind of continue your drying that you started with the towel. After that, all you do is set it aside. You can see how the rim is already starting to turn white, and the gourd is mostly dry. You won't have any mold growing in that gourd. Now for the bombilla. As you'll see, I just pulled it out a while ago when I was dumping my ground. Still has plenty of residue. Here's the technique I do, and I'll do it fairly quickly so this video doesn't last very long. I rinse out with the stream of water, both sides. Hopefully you'll get a nice flow coming out. Then I take a little toothbrush, which I also have reserved just for this purpose. Nice soft bristles. And I brush it gently around the holes. That'll generally take care of any residue you have, any remaining herb leaf. You might just rub slightly with your fingers to make sure there's no stem sticking out. You should be getting a nice smooth flow when you run water into the bowl, as this one's doing here, you can see. Alright, once that's through, this is another key point. Everyone doesn't have to do this if you don't want to, but I actually put the bowl inside my mouth without touching the bowl with my tongue or anything, but just enough to give it a puff of air through the tube to clean out the specks of water. Like that, just like you're blowing on the end of a straw. What that'll do is keeping the moisture outside of the interior of the bombilla, and will greatly reduce the chance that you might get any internal rust. Then just dry the exterior with your kitchen towel, and you're ready to go. I usually prop it up on a paper napkin like that on the side of a table, and you're done. And that's my technique for cleaning and drying.